Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa and the name of this channel is called Gnostic Knowledge, and what I am doing on this channel is reading from a book. Actually, I've read two books and they're both written by Zachary K. Hubbard and the first book is entitled Letters and Numbers, which I have completed on this channel, and you can read from chapter 1 all the way up to chapter 22. And in his latest book, Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus, I have finished reading up to chapter 15, and in this session I will begin reading chapter 16. So if I said 16 earlier, I read to chapter 15 and I am going to begin reading chapter 16. Zachary K. Hubbard's books are in regard to Gematria. Gematria is the encoding of numbers within our letters. Every word we speak has a numerical value, and the more you learn about Gematria, the more clearly you will begin to see the code of Gematria. It's an alphanumeric code, and you begin to see clearly how it is being used every single day, and it has been used for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So at the end of this reading, I will let you guys know how to get both of Zachary K. Hubbard's books. And in the meantime, I want to begin reading in chapter 16. And it is entitled Kobe Bryant's Burial and the NBA's March 11th Suspension. Okay? Coincidence. It's a word many use far too often to explain away things that are not. For example, many would claim it is a coincidence that LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant in points scored in what was Kobe Bryant's hometown in the Lakers' one game of the season in Philadelphia. Thus, a 1 out of 82 chance, because the Lakers play an 82 game schedule and only one game at Philadelphia each year. The word game equates to 82 reverse simple English. Okay, those same people would likely call it a coincidence that LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant in points scored while playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, and then the next day Kobe Bryant died in Los Angeles, exactly what was reported to have happened January 25th and January 26, 2020 respectively. They would likely also call it a coincidence that Kobe Bryant was then buried in Corona Del Mar in the time of a coronavirus outbreak. They might even call it a coincidence that LeBron James got his 24th tattoo on his body in tribute to Kobe Bryant, who wore number 24. With a picture of a black snake and the words Mamba with the number 4, with the words Mamba for life, days after Kobe's death and after passing Kobe Bryant in points scored on Philadelphia's court that was decorated with a black snake chopped into pieces from the join or die flag. They'd likely even call it a coincidence that the Lakers became 24-8 at home after defeating the Los Angeles Clippers when the NBA returned from its coronavirus break July 30th, 2020, despite 24 and 8 being the jersey numbers of Kobe Bryant. And they might even call it a coincidence that Beyonce won her 24th Grammy at the Staples Center where the Lakers play on the same day Kobe died, being the same woman that opened up his memorial with a song on the 24th of February in the same building. But if you showed them what is in the remaining pages of this chapter, you might very well cure their coincidence theory problem. Absolutely. Information is the key, and those same people might never have heard of a death pool or gematria or how it is used ritualistically. And in that regard, here is what is interesting about Kobe Bryant's death in light of a death pool and gematria. Okay? First, the way the odds for a death pool work or by taking the age of a person and subtracting it from 100. So in the case of Kobe Bryant, who died at age 41, you would subtract 41 from 100, meaning Kobe Bryant paid 59 to 1 in a death pool. Huge odds. This becomes interesting because Kobe Bryant was known as the Black Mamba, and he crashed in his Black Mamba painted helicopter in Calabasas, where both the names Black Mamba and Calabasas sums to 59 with simple English, the same as blues, Rasta, Negro, and slave. This is why at first it was reported that 5 people were killed, including Kobe Bryant and his daughter, in the crash before the death toll jumped to 9 killed. 5 and 9, 59. Okay? This is also why it was later reported that Lisa Marie Presley's son died in Calabasas, July 12, 2020, a date with 59 numerology, the grandson of Elvis Presley, a name equating to 59, with Pythagorean Gematria, who was once accused of making black music. As you'll recall, the number 59 is encoded into black history in a number of ways, from the establishment year of Motown, 1959, to the fact that Black History Month, February, ends on the 59th day of the year, except for in leap years. And while death pools and betting on them might not be common amongst ordinary people, we are talking about the games of those who are often referred to as elites. Again, I'll ask you to read and listen to the lyrics to the song Murder by Numbers, a song about how killing is the sport of the elite, and it is as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. Okay? And as you read and listen, consider how games such as the knocking off of celebrities for the sake of winning a death pool could fit into the schemes that are sung about. Moving on, the man born Kobe Bean Bryant, summing to 54, with Pythagorean Gematria, and his daughter Gianna Bryant, also summing to 54 with Gematria with Pythagorean, shocked the world when they were reported dead exactly 1 week before Super Bowl 54 to an unsuspecting public, even though the event had been foretold nearly a decade in advance in the 2011 film The Black Mamba that we'll soon get to. Keep in mind their respective ages, 41 and 13 at 254, and as you know, the number 54 connects to the Jesuit order, and their logo, the sun, S-U-N, both equating to 54. The latter being the object that is measured in a 24-hour cycle, similar to how Kobe Bryant finished his career with the jersey number 24 after beginning his career with the number 8, 2 numbers that when added together equate to 32. Reminding us of the number of sun rays in the Jesuit logo, 32. With regards to the sun, S-U-N, and the Gregorian calendar that is based on the solar cycle, you will notice that the name Kobe Bryant and the phrase solar cycle are identical in all 4 base ciphers, equating to 41, 58, 113, and 157. Numbers we will come to understand very well before the end of this chapter, especially in how they relate to the life of Kobe Bryant and what really happened the day he was reported dead, his 157th day of being 41 years old. As we move through the chapter, keep in mind that sun, S-U-N, sun god, sums to 26, like Bryant, and he died on the 26th day of the Gregorian year in the 74th NBA season, while having a first name, Kobe, equating to 33 in simple English. As you have learned, the numbers 33 and 74 are often brought together, seemingly in tribute to Jesus, summing to 74, the same as cross, the former being the man who is believed to have been crucified at age 33, and whose existence is debated, and sometimes debated as being the Son, S-U-N, of God, as opposed to the Son, S-O-N, of God. And in that breath, keep in mind that Kobe Bryant died on a Sunday, the Catholic day of worship, named in honor of the Son, S-U-N. With these parallels between Jesus and Kobe in mind, the latter being a man who is truly worshipped by many for his athleticism, professional success, and celebrity, it is only fitting then that crucify Psalms 241 with reverse Pythagorean matching Kobe Bryant's age of demise. As for the parallel to Super Bowl 54, it becomes all the more curious when you realize that Kobe Bryant alone sums to 41 with Pythagorean the same as Super Bowl, and that Patrick Mahomes, number 15, became 26 for 41 on passing attempts after connecting with Damien Williams, number 26, 15 plus 26 equal 41, on the Chiefs. Damien Williams, number 26, on the Chiefs for a touchdown. Mahomes connected with him for a touchdown, helping add 7 points to the scoreboard and giving his team the lead for the first time in the game. And the word game, a word equating to 26 in Super Bowl 54, 7 days after Kobe Bryant died on the 26th of January at the age 41. And again, Bryant, like Jordan, sums to 21 in Pythagorean, the God number. Bringing Kobe Bryant's death even closer to the sport of football, January 26, 2020 happened to be the 37-year anniversary of the death of Bear Bryant, who passed January 26, 1983, a man who is considered the greatest football coach of all time and who coached for Alabama where Forrest Gump played. Oh my God. It was only fitting he would die in 83 then, because football sums to 83 with simple English, similar to how basketball sums to 22 with Pythagorean, and Kobe died in 2020, 2-2. The same year, David Stern died, who became the commissioner of the National Basketball Association, NBA, in 1984, before dying in January 1st, 2020, a date with 22 numerology, which stands out because both David and Stern sum to 22 with Pythagorean, the same as basketball, connecting back to the key digits in 2020, 2 and 2. And Zach, that is so funny. Forrest Gump played for Alabama. Forrest Gump. Kind of like he played for Bear Bryant. I know he didn't, but that's so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, moving right along. As for why I bring up the part about the 37-year anniversary, it is because the name Bryant sums to 26 with Pythagorean gematria, like dying on the 26th of the month, and 37 with reverse Pythagorean, like dying on the 37-year anniversary of Bear Bryant, and similar to dying on the 157th day of his own age, because 157 157 is the 37th prime number. My goodness. To further illustrate the significance of 26, in light of both Bryant's dying on January 26, and not to be confused with Al Bryant of the Temptations, who died on October 26, we need to revisit the college football championship won by Alabama on January 8, 2018. We will examine this game because it was from recent history, and it was when Nick Saban won his 6th college football championship, tying Bear Bryant for the most college football championships ever. Not by chance, He did it by scoring 26 points, beating Georgia 26-23 on the date of January 8, 2018. So I ask, is it a coincidence? Both Georgia and Los Angeles equate to 37, the latter being where Kobe Bryant and his daughter died. In light of the tragic news from the 26th, that of Kobe Bryant dying at age 41, along with his daughter at age 13 in LA, equating to 41 and 13. That same Alabama championship game that was won by Nick Saban to tie Bear, a name summoned to 26, concluded in overtime with a 41-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback wearing number 13 to the receiver wearing number 6 in a beautiful mathematically driven riddle, because 41 is the 13th prime and 13 is the 6th prime. The winning quarterback's name is Tua. The winning quarterback's name, Tua, sums to 6 as well. And he brought home Nick Saban's 6th championship, despite being down 0-13 at the half. Adding to the riddle of 26, the winning play and 26 points for Alabama happened on second down and 26. That was set up by taking a purposeful big loss on the down prior. Keep in mind, Nick Saban was coaching Alabama, Bear Bryant's old school, summing to 13 in Pythagorean Gematria, the 6th prime number. As for the greater meaning of 26 and 6, it goes back to Genesis 1 and 26, where mankind is made in the image of God on the 6th day, where 6th, S-I-X-T-H, 6th equates to 26 with Pythagorean, similar to how Adam sums to 26 in reverse Pythagorean, the name God gave the first man. The numbers 26 and 6 also reminds us of Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, the 266th, and the fact that Kobe Bryant died while traveling from Catholic Mass. Shit. Let us not forget the value of Isus Hominum Salvator, equating to 266, because as we'll soon get to, Kobe Bryant died 266 days after his wife's May 5th, 2019 birthday, the day she turned 37. He was also drafted into the NBA on June 26th or 26/6, 266 in 1996, and for the record, Isus Hominum Salvator means Jesus, Savior of men, a phrase equating to 211, the same as Black Mamba. And in Kobe Bryant's case, he died 211 days before the next Kobe Bryant Day, August 24th, 2020, celebrated on 8/24 in Los Angeles annually. The celebration began in 2016, the year Kobe retired from the NBA, and on the date August 24th, because Kobe Bryant wore the numbers 8 and 24. Absolutely. The number 211 is also the 47th prime, and Kobe Bryant died on a date with 47 numerology, a number connecting to the Vatican that was established in history on February 11th, or 211 in 1929. Sadly, on February 11, 2020, it was reported that Joseph Shabalala, Shaballala, Shabalala, had died at age 78, and reminding us that Kobe Bryant was born in 78, and Shabalala, Shabala, Shabalala, probably is how it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but he was born in 41. In the year 41. It's crazy. What makes the parallel between the two men's deaths all the more clear is that Joseph Shabalala was the singer for the band Ladysmith Black Mamba, equating to 211 with simple English, similar to Black Mamba, equating to 211 with reverse simple. Thus, it was a very sick joke on the 30th anniversary of Nelson Mandela being freed on the 42nd day of the year, February 11th. Ugh. And also on the Vatican's 91st birthday, the 13th triangular number. My goodness. On the subject of 13, and to get back to the Alabama championship game for a moment. It was January 3rd of that year, or 1-3 like 13, that Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election, announced he was going to attend the Alabama championship. 58 is 5 plus 8 equals 13. And Donald Trump was the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. So that was one of many signs the game was all about 13 and in favor of Alabama, equating to 13 before it was even played. And as we had stated that day after hearing the news, it was a done deal. The game was Alabama's, and it would be all about the number 13, and it was, with the biggest storyline being number 13. Tua, and I will spell his middle and last name because there's no way I can pronounce it without hearing someone say it. But his middle name, Tuanigimanuolepola. His last name, Tagoviloa. So his whole name, Tua, his whole name is here. So anyway, let's see if it's going to say anything. But anyway, let me move right along. Tua replacing Jalen Hurts, number 2, at halftime, down 0-13, and coming back to win the championship under the highest pressure. And if you want to get cute, the word TWO has a Pythagorean value of 13. And if you want to get even cuter, there were 49 points scored in the game in total. 49 is 4 plus 9 equates to 13. And now this year, in 2020, Tua was drafted by the NFL's Miami Dolphins, a city's name that begins with the 13th letter M, becoming the first quarterback to wear 13 for the Dolphins since Dan Marino, who was coached by Don Shula, who passed recently at age 90 on May 4th, 2020, a date with numerology of 13. Okay, so 5 plus 4 plus 20, 5 plus 4 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equates to 13. And even more being written 5-4, May 4th, 5-4, after Miami hosted Super Bowl 54. His date of passing also came 13 weeks and 1 day after Super Bowl 54, reminding us that Super Bowl sums to 131. And in light of Don Shula dying at 90 on May 4th and being a Miami legend, never mind that Miami sums to 45 with simple English and 90 with reverse simple, or that the date can be written 4-5 like 45, corresponding with the Pythagorean and reverse Pythagorean values of 13, equating to 45 in both, and that's 13 written as a word. Okay, for your learning, 45 is the 9th triangular number, and 9 represents completion. In numerology terms, both 45 and 90 equate as 9 as well, thus making Don Shula's completion ritual all the more fitting, especially after Super Bowl 54, another number having 9 numerology. Okay? And for more familiar numbers, you might have noticed I brought up Donald Trump being the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election in light of his January 3rd announcement about attending Alabama's championship. I did that because Alabama sums to 158 with reverse simple English, similar to how Kobe Bryant sums to 58 with reverse Pythagorean, and similar to how Forrest Gump said in Alabama sums to 58 with reverse Pythagorean, and also 158 with simple English. And for another, Tua, his middle name and last name equates to 158 with reverse Pythagorean. The star Alabama product, who is now off to the Jesuit and Scottish Rite controlled NFL, where once again the Jesuits were formed in France on 15/8 or August 15, and 15/8 158. Okay, and Freemasonry sums to 158 with reverse simple English, and also 58 with Pythagorean. And just one more time, I will spell Tua's middle and last names. Okay, that equates to 158. So TUANIGAMANUOLEPOLA TAGOVAILOA. Those letters, his name, his middle and last name equates to 158. Alrighty. So moving right along. For another synchronicity between the deaths of Kobe Bryant and Bear Bryant, as we have learned, the name Kobe Bryant equates to 157, and having been born August 23rd, 1978, he died on his 157th day of his age, 41, which again becomes all the more curious when you recognize that Kobe Bryant equates to 41 and 157. Regarding the number 157, it is the 37th prime, and in light of dying on the 37-year anniversary of Bear Bryant's passing, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the University of Alabama is located, sums to 157 with simple English. And with the numbers 157 in mind, let us add to the list, in light of the ritual of Kobe Bryant's very suspicious death while traveling from Catholic Mass in Los Angeles, a city equating to 37 with Pythagorean gematria. On the day of his demise, the Grammy Awards were being hosted at the Staples Center in LA, a building name summing to 157 with simple English, where Kobe Bryant used to play his home games with the Lakers. During the Grammys, Alicia Keys, summing to 41 with Pythagorean, the same as Kobe Bryant, paid tribute to his name. Also standing out is the fact that Beyonce won her 24th Grammy Award at the ceremony on the date of the death of number 24 Kobe Bryant, and in the building that is often referred to as the one Kobe built. If you think it's a coincidence, try again. When Beyonce was with Destiny's Child, they released the album The Writings on the Wall on the date of July 27th, 1999, the day leaving 157 days left in the year. This matters because Kobe Bryant appears in the music video for the song Bugaboo off the same album, and the song name sums to 126, the same as Gianna Bryant, and corresponding with his date of death, 126. Furthermore, that music video released after the album on Kobe's 21st birthday, August 23rd, 1999, where 21 is the number corresponding with Jesuit as well as Lakers. using Pythagorean gematria for both and corresponding with the fact that 1999 was 21 years before 2020. To take it further, Saturn sums to 21 with Pythagorean gematria, and Saturn is the sixth planet, corresponding with 21 being the sixth triangular number. Saturn is also connected to death and judgment, and in tarot, the 20th card is the judgment card, bringing us to 2020, the year of Kobe's demise. Keep in mind, tarot, T-A-R-O-T, tarot sums to 74, and so does Destiny's Child, because Kobe Bryant died during the 74th NBA season. Excuse me. And in light of this riddle running through Beyonce and her 24th Grammy on the day of Kobe Bryant's death, for her husband Jay-Z, it was his 54th day of his age. And in case I'm giving you number shock, Kobe Bryant equates to 54. Furthermore, he died 144 days after Beyonce's 38th birthday that fell on September 4th, 2019. And as you know, Jesuit order equates to 54 and 144. Never mind that September 4th is also Los Angeles' birthday, and for good reason. It is because September 4th leaves 118 days left in the year, and Los Angeles, California is not only located on the 118th meridian west, but it equates to 118, the same as the name of their current mayor, Eric Garcetti. It reminds us a little bit of how Los Angeles, California and Paradise, California, both summing to 118, burned on November 8th, 2018, emphasis on 11/8 like 118. In the deadliest California wildfires in history. It should also remind you that the word death has simple English gematria of 38, and in Jewish gematria, death has simple English gematria of 38 and Jewish gematria of 118, since Beyonce was 30 years old at the time of Kobe's tragic accident. If you caught the July 4th, 2020 news of a political candidate going by the name K.W. Miller stating that Beyonce was really a member of the Italian Lastrassi family, Lastrassi. Okay, the name Lastrassi sums to 118 with simple English, and the prospect of her being Italian is very interesting because Kobe Bryant grew up in Italy, where his father also played professional basketball. Furthermore, the candidate said her real name was Anne Marie Lastrassi, equating to 193 in the same cipher as Roman Catholic Church, and 67 like Italy, and 122 and 266 in the same ciphers as Iesous Hominum Salvator. Back on the subject of the Staples Center, it is also the same building that Steph Curry's record streak of 157 games with a three-point shot made came to an end November 4th, 2016. At the time, it reminded me of the Warriors' record home winning streak ending at 54 games at Oracle, equating to 54 with simple English on April 1st, 2016, April Fool's Day, the same day the Cavaliers picked up their 54th win of the season in back-to-back games that were broadcast on ESPN, a network equating to 54 in two of the four base ciphers, and reminding us that Steph Curry and LeBron James were both born in Akron, Ohio, in the same hospital, only to have the fate of playing each other 4 straight times in the NBA Finals. The coincidences. Absolutely. Oh my God. And don't even get me started on Nate Thurmond, also born in Akron, Ohio, who had his jersey number 42 retired with the Warriors and Cavs, the same teams that met in 4 straight NBA Finals, led by Steph Curry and LeBron James, who died at age 74, 27 days after LeBron scored 27 points in Game 7. So just in case I messed it up where it sounded like LeBron James passed, I want to reread that, okay? He says, and don't even get me started on Nate Thurmond, okay? Also born in Akron, Ohio, who had his jersey number 42 retired with the Warriors and Cavs, the same teams that met in 4 straight NBA Finals, led by Steph Curry and LeBron James, and who died, Nate Thurmond, who died at age 74, 27 days after LeBron scored 27 points in Game 7, defeating the Warriors on the real King James's birthday, June 19th. 2016, in what was his 103rd game of the season, the 27th prime number, and where right before the game the actor Anton Yelchin died in a freak accident at age 27, having 103 birth numerology, having been born March 11th, 1989. As we'll get to, March 11th is a very important date to the NBA in terms of numbers, and it is the date the 74th NBA season would eventually be suspended on, I'm sorry, let me reread that. As we'll get to, March 11th is a very important date to the NBA in terms of numbers, and it is the date the 74th NBA season would eventually be suspended on in 2020 due to coronavirus. In the case of Yelchin, his birth year, 89, also mattered because King James sums to 89 with simple English, the same as religion, and reminding us of the 89 chapters that make up the gospel of the story of Jesus, adding even more relevance to the number 89. Hours after Yelchin's death, the Warriors would lose to LeBron King James in Game 7 with 89 points. Oh my goodness. And let us not forget that occurred during LeBron James' 13th season, similar to how the real King James became a king at 13 months of age, and reminding us that the son of King James was King Charles, and the people who fought for him were called Cavaliers, just like the name of the team LeBron played for at the time, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh my goodness, all this stuff. Moving on and continuing with the subject of 157. This number connects to many more important things regarding Kobe Bryant, including his father, who was once an NBA star himself, having been drafted by the Warriors before playing for the Philadelphia 76ers, the San Diego Clippers, and the Houston Rockets. His NBA nickname was Jelly Bean, equating to 157, as in Joe Jelly Bean Bryant, for another 157. Kobe's death was blamed on an accident, equating to 157, with reverse simple, the same as Jelly Bean. Furthermore, the day of his death, the WWE's 33rd Royal Rumble was taking place, corresponding with Kobe, equating to 33. And for the first time in the history of the WWE, a man from Scotland won the event. He was Drew McIntyre, M-C-I-N-T-Y-R-E. He was Drew McIntyre, having a name equating to 157 with simple English, and reminding us that the top of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry created under the Jesuit umbrella is the 33rd degree. Keep in mind, Vince McMahon, a Scottish Rite Freemason born on August 24th, 1945, Kobe Bryant Day, owns and operates the WWE, and he was 74 years old at the time of Kobe's death, reminding us that Kobe died during the 74th NBA season and bear Bryant's full name, Paul William Bryant, sums to 74 with Pythagorean gematria. The man who Kobe Bryant's death was coordinated with. For another 74, you can add Mahomes to the list, a name summing to 74 by using simple English and the surname of the man who appears to have been a beneficiary of the greater. Let me reread that, okay? For another 74, you can add Mahomes to the list, a name summing to 74 by using simple English, and the surname of the man who appears to have been a beneficiary of the greater Kobe Bryant death ritual, where you could say one star died and another was truly born by winning Super Bowl 54. Continuing with the subject of 157, Kobe Bryant's father still is, and Kobe Bryant was, a member of the Boule, as many black entertainers are. I bring this up because the date Joe Bryant was born, October 19, 1954, was 157 days after the Boule's 50th birthday, having been established May 15, 1904. And don't overlook that his father was born in 54 in light of the sacrifice ritual that Kobe Bryant became a part of before Super Bowl 54, where in that game another young black superstar in Black History Month put his stamp on the NFL, winning his first Super Bowl that couldn't have been scripted any better. If you are not familiar with the Boule, it is similar to Prince Hall Freemasonry, which is Freemasonry for black men. It is for this reason Kobe Bryant's autopsy was released May 15, 2020, on the anniversary date of the establishment of the Boule, a fraternity also known as Sigma Pi Phi. With your gematria lens, you can verify that both Boule and Sigma Pi Phi equate to 55, with our base ciphers similar to how the letters Sigma 18, Pi 16, and Phi, Phi 21 of the Greek alphabet add up to 55. 18 plus 16 plus 21 equals Sigma plus Pi plus Phi equals 55. And it is for this reason Kobe Bryant's February 24th memorial was held at the Staples Center on the 55th day of the year. Oh my God, that last stat becomes all the more interesting when you recognize that Los Angeles Lakers sums to 257 with reverse simple the 55th prime, and Kobe Bryant died on the 257th day of the Boule's age. At the same time, blood sacrifice equates to 257 as well as 67, the latter number corresponding with the gematria of Black Mamba and Calabasas, as well as the 67 date numerology that he died on. The significance of 55 also explains why he was in an arranged marriage with Vanessa Bryant, a woman born on May 5th or 55 on the subject of her birthday. I should remind that Kobe Bryant died 266 days after her 37th birthday. As you have learned, 266 is a special number to the Jesuits through the gematria of the motto Isus Hominum Salvator, equating to 266, and the fact that the first Jesuit Pope is the 266th. This detail reminds us that modern Freemasonry and its many wings, including the Boule, a fraternity just for black sellout men. They didn't write sellout, but a fraternity just for black men, are under the Jesuit umbrella, the Divide and Conquer cartel. Oh my goodness gracious, this stuff is... For another 157 riddle, the NBA All-Star Game was played on February 16, 2020, a date with 58 numerology, and it was dedicated to Kobe Bryant, equating to 58, the same as Los Angeles Lakers and the same as star. And for a reminder, all of these words sums to 58 with the base ciphers, and they all relate to time. They are calendar, Gregorian, zodiac, solar cycle, star, and stars. Let us not forget the sun is considered our nearest star, or how Kobe Bryant relates to solar cycle. And with the concept of all things being of God recognized, including time, the four-letter name of God, the Tetragrammaton, the word Tetragrammaton, and that is the four-letter name of God, it sums to 58. As for the 157, instead of playing with a game clock for the 2020 All-Star Game, a target score was set at 157, meaning the first team to score 157 points was the winner. Sure enough, Team LeBron James won, defeating Team Giannis, scoring 157. And what makes this all the more creepy is that prior to the coronavirus suspension, the NBA Finals were originally set to begin on June 4th, 2020, precisely 157 days after LeBron James's December 30th birthday, the star of the Los Angeles Lakers, who joined the team after Kobe's retirement. Furthermore, heading into the 2020 NBA playoffs, LeBron James's postseason record is 156-83, meaning his next win is 157. Keep in mind that measurement of 157 days was from LeBron's 35th birthday, and King James sums to 35 with Pythagorean gematria, the same as Catholic, and the real King James became a Freemason when he was 35 years old. Furthermore, the real King James died unexpectedly at age 58, and he was a Freemason and a Rosicrucian, the latter equating to 58, the same as Freemasonry, both with Pythagorean. And if you break 58 down in numerology terms, 5 plus 8, it equates to 13. And then you can break down 13, and then you can break 13 down to 1 plus 3 is 4 in numerology. Okay? Recall, LeBron, nicknamed King James, passed Kobe Bryant in points scored in Philadelphia, Kobe's hometown, dropping Kobe to 4th in scoring in NBA history. And as we learned earlier, the number 4 is associated with not only the Tetragrammaton, but death, especially in the Far East, because in both Mandarin and Japanese, you pronounce 4, F-O-U-R, you pronounce 4 the same way you pronounce death. And with Japan in mind and the New World Order, or better said, the Jesuit order, pulling the strings, I must mention that Kobe Bryant died on 1/26 in the time of the 126th Emperor of Japan, Naruhito, 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 and that Kobe Japan was founded on April 1st, 1889, emphasis on 4-1, similar to Kobe Bryant, equating to 41, dying at age 41. If you want to go even further, Naruhito took office May 1st, 2019, meaning the day Kobe Bryant died was his 271st day as emperor, and 271 is the 58th time. I should also mention, in light of LeBron James passing Kobe Bryant in points scored, that the NBA All-Star Game was captained by the stars of the Los Angeles Lakers and Milwaukee Bucks, the two teams that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar once played for, the same man who leads the NBA in scoring all time as of 2020. And never mind that Abdul-Jabbar, Psalms 274, with simple English, coinciding with the death ritual in the 74 NBA season, and reminding us of Muhammad Ali, another athlete who changed his name to an Islamic name and who died at age 74. In light of the Islamic parallel between Abdul-Jabbar and Ali, it should be noted that an infamous episode of South Park is titled 201, and it was banned because it outraged Muslims for the way it mocked the Prophet Muhammad. And let us not forget, Event 201 was held on the day leaving 74 days in the Gregorian year for yet another 157, pertaining to the premature death of basketball star Kobe Bryant and Kanye West, along with Bruce Willis. Now, let me reread that. For yet another 157, pertaining to the premature death of the basketball star, okay? Kobe Bryant and Kanye West, along with Bruce Willis, did a short film called The Black Mamba that was made for Nike, and that was released in February of 2020. The film concludes with Kobe Bryant throwing a basketball with a bomb inside of it at a helicopter that houses an escaping villain played by Kanye West, leading to the helicopter exploding in midair. Okay? This obviously reminds of Kobe's fatal helicopter accident. If you look at the poster made for the film that depicts an exploding helicopter behind Kobe Bryant, at the top of it says, "You lose this road game, you don't go home." That sentence, that phrase, equating to 157 with Pythagorean gematria. Again, this number connects to the gematria of Kobe Bryant and the fact that he died on the 157th day of his age, and the fact that the day before his death, the Lakers lost a road game in Kobe's hometown, Philadelphia, where LeBron James surpassed Kobe Bryant in all-time points scored, scoring an easy layup for the 54th points of the game for the Lakers, corresponding with the Pythagorean gematria of Kobe being Bryant as well as Gina Bryant. I want to reread that one more time to be sure. Let me see here. Okay, you lose this road game, you don't go home, equating to 157 with Pythagorean gematria. Again, this number connects to the gematria of Kobe Bryant and the fact that he died on the 157th day of his age, and the fact that the day before his death, the Lakers lost a road game that don't make sense, in Kobe's hometown, Philadelphia, where LeBron James surpassed Kobe Bryant in all-time points scored, scoring an easy layup for. Oh, okay, so maybe are they talking about? I don't know. And if I'm messing this up, I'm terribly sorry. I'm just trying to understand it. Because Kobe played for the Lakers. He wasn't playing for the Lakers anymore, so maybe because the Lakers beat the Philadelphia 76ers, Kobe could no longer go back home to Philadelphia. Well, anywho, I'm going to read this how Mr. Hubbard has written it, and hopefully I am reading it correctly, or that I'm understanding it correctly. Okay, and I don't want to throw you guys off, so read this information or listen to it and see what you think, or let me know in the comments what you think this is. Anyway, you lose this road game, you don't go home, equating to 157 with Pythagorean gematria. Again, this number connects to the gematria of Kobe Bryant and the fact that he died on the 157th day of his age, and the fact that the day before his death, the Lakers lost a road game in Kobe's hometown, Philadelphia, where LeBron James surpassed Kobe Bryant in all-time points scored, scoring an easy layup for the 54th points of the game for the Lakers, corresponding with the Pythagorean gematria of Kobe Bryant as well as Gianna Bryant. I'll also add, regarding to the logo of the black snake on the court, it is from the join or die flag, and join or die equates to 54, with both Pythagorean ciphers. Furthermore, LeBron's basket brought the score to 54 to 74. Okay, when he made that basket, it brought the score to 54 to 74 in the 74th NBA season, meaning that moments before the score was 52 to 74, thus 126 points in total, similar to the date of his passing, 126, as well as Genesis 126, and the fact that Gianna Bryant sums to 126 with simple English, similar to Bugaboo, also equating to 126. Keep in mind, LeBron James passed Kobe on January 25th, a date that can be written 25/1 like 251, the 54th prime number, and on a date that was 26 days after LeBron's birthday. Furthermore, Kobe died a span of 54 days from Bruce Willis's 65th birthday, which was March 19, 2020, who again also starred in the Black Mamba. And regarding Willis turning 65, Philadelphia equates to 65 with Pythagorean gematria, reminding us that Kobe's father was 65 years old at the time of his death, and Philadelphia's date of establishment, October 27th, leaves 65 days in the year. As you know, that is the pandemic number, and Kobe's death was woven into the web of coronavirus pandemic riddles when it was reported he and his daughter were buried in Corona del Mar, equating to 56 and 70 in the same exact ciphers as coronavirus. Even further, it was reported they were buried February 7th, the 38th day of the year, corresponding with the gematria of pandemic as well as death and RIP, making the span of days from the accident to the burial 13 in number. And further tying his death in with the pandemic riddle, it was reported that Kobe Bryant was in a legal battle with a pharmaceutical company at the time of his demise over the fact a company was attempting to capitalize on his Black Mamba branding without his permission. Of course, this was the same time when pharmaceutical giants in the 201 area code of New Jersey and elsewhere were racing for the coronavirus cure. Further bringing Kobe and Kanye West together, it was reported that the accident was very close to Kanye West's Calabasas home, and it came a span of 135 days before Kanye's 43rd birthday, June 8, 2020, connecting to the simple English gematria of Kobe being Bryant, summing to 135, and reminding us that the Boule's birthday in non-leap years is May 15th, the 135th day of the year. And in light of Philadelphia being where the Boule was originally established and where Kobe was born, there is something special about 135 and Philadelphia that is biblical, and it is explained through Philadelphia's establishment date, October 27, 1682, a date with 135 numerology. You would add 10 plus 27 plus 16 plus 82. That equates to 135. This number matters because Philadelphia is a name used in Revelation and in the letter written to the church of Philadelphia. In Revelation 3:7, the key of David is mentioned, the key of David, equating to 135 with simple English. And I promise you, from this day forward, when you pay attention to Philadelphia sports and history, you will notice a lot of 135 riddles. Case in point, Carson Wentz, W-E-N-T-Z, Carson Wentz, as a rookie with the Philadelphia Eagles, set an NFL record not throwing an interception until his 135th pass. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Okay. Speaking of Carson Wentz, you might recall the time Kobe Bryant was in attendance at his game on December 10th. 2017, when the Philadelphia Eagles were visiting the Los Angeles Rams, and Kobe Bryant received national attention for singing "Fly, Eagles, Fly," the Philadelphia Eagles team song, equating to 135 and 54 in the exact same ciphers as Kobe being Bryant. That was the game where the Eagles won, but Carson Wentz was badly injured, giving rise to Nick Foles, who led the Eagles to a Super Bowl victory over the Patriots in Minneapolis, the original home of the Los Angeles Lakers. I know my followers do because they hit for 6 times their money when the Eagles won that game as huge underdogs, who I predicted would be winning that symbolic game prior to facing the Patriots in the Super Bowl after just week 3 of the NFL season. And again, I was able to make this prediction because of what Donald Trump did on September 23rd, 2017, when he took on the NFL protesters of the national anthem and the U.S. flag, reminding us that the date is written 23/9, similar to 239. The 52nd prime and Super Bowl 52 was upcoming in Minnesota, equating to 52, and more importantly, the flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philadelphia, a city that gets its name from the book of prophecy, Revelation, and where prophecy equates to 52 with Pythagorean and prophet equates to 98 with simple English. I bring up the part about 98 because Super Bowl 52 concluded the 98th NFL season, and it was hosted by the Minnesota Vikings, where again Minnesota sums to 52 and Vikings sums to 98. So as we asked then, what could be more symbolic than a team with the flag on their helmet, the Patriots, playing against the city that gave birth to the flag, Philadelphia, the city named after the Church of Prophecy? The answer came the next day when the Eagles' field goal kicker set a new team record with a 61-yard make. This mattered in Gematria terms because both church and Philadelphia equate to 61, along with Christian, Christmas, Jesus and cross. And if you're asking the logical question that is to be asked, how do you make sure a 61-yard kick goes in? The answer is technology in the balls that you're not ever allowed to take home in the NFL or the NBA. You're never allowed to take them home as a fan. Let me reread that. How do you make sure a 61-yard kick goes in? The answer is technology in the balls that you're not ever allowed to take home in the NFL or the NBA as a fan. Okay? Keep in mind, 61 is the 18th prime, and the Eagles would take the Vince Lombardi Trophy to start 2018. Adding to the riddle with the flag, the Patriots and Eagles had played each other in Super Bowl 39, 13 years earlier, reminding us of the number of stripes on the U.S. flag, 13. And with 13 in mind, don't overlook the fact that the Eagles scored 41 points in Super Bowl 52, the 13th prime number, or that a deck of cards is 52 in number and divided into 4 sets of 13. And don't overlook that NFL sums to 13 with reverse Pythagorean, or that USA sums to 41 with simple English. And and that USA sums to 41 with simple English, the nation that began with 13 colonies. Also, for the memory bank, the final score of Super Bowl 52 was Eagles 41, Patriots 33, for 74 combined points in tribute to the nation born on July 4th, or 7-4. Having recognized the Super Bowl matchup months in advance, thanks to Donald Trump's September 23rd antics, and understanding how the number games unfold year after year, season after season, season after season, as we have been proving since 2014, it allowed me to call in advance that if the Eagles were to win, Zach Ertz, Zachertz, Zach Ertz, number 86 for the Eagles, would score the winning touchdown in Super Bowl 52, 86 days after his November 10th birthday, because the national anthem had been adopted by the U.S. 86 years prior to the 98 NFL season, thus bringing the riddle full circle. And sure as the sun, Zach Ertz scored the winning touchdown on a pass from Nick Foles, a man having NF initials, or 14-6. N is the 14th letter, F is a 6, so 146. Similar to the birthday of Donald Trump and the U.S. flag, June 14th. Oh, I got it. June 14th, not 146. June 14th, 6/14. Gotcha. Even more, the name Nick Foles sums to 149 with reverse simple English, the 35th prime, and he defeated Tom Brady, also summing to 35 on February 4th, 2018, the 35th day of the year, reminding us who wrote the script, the same entity that controls the nation, the Catholic Church. My goodness. It should also be noted that in light of Donald Trump having the same birthday as the U.S. flag that was born in Philadelphia on June 14, 1777, and president equating to 52, you can understand why the ritual would run through the presidency for Super Bowl 52 as it did. Keep in mind, Super Bowl 52 was played prior to the start of the 99th NFL season. That was a continuation of the same ongoing storyline where New England, summing to 99, would go on to win the Super Bowl. in the most symbolic of fashion. To understand the symbolism, you must keep in mind the United States of America, Psalms 299, and it was the name that on September 9th, and it was named, the United States of America, Psalms 299, and it was named on September 9th, or 9/9 of 1776. Furthermore, 13 written out as a word, Psalms 299, reminding us of the 13 stripes on the U.S. flag and the 13 colonies, as well as the number of families that founded the Bavarian Illuminati, May 1st, 1776, a date with 99 numerology. Of course, in the 99th NFL season, the New England Patriots, led by 41-year-old Tom Brady, would defeat the team from LA, equating to 13-41 with a score of 13-3, giving Tom Brady his 6th Super Bowl ring and reminding us that 13 is the 6th prime number. And adding on to that riddle, the state of California joined the United States of America on September 9th, 1850, 74 years after the U.S. was named the home of the Los Angeles Rams, making them all the more a perfect opponent for New England for the 99th NFL season. We won't even touch the fact that the Rams star Aaron Donald, equating to 99 with simple English, wears the number 99, or that his birthday is May 23rd or 5/23, similar to 5/23, the 99th prime, and that he laid down in the Super Bowl against Old Man Brady, who led the Patriots into the 99th NFL season as a franchise with 523 wins before a single game was played, a major tell that the 99th season was theirs. And to get back on the subject of 157 and Kobe Bryant, there is another very important story to tell. That is of Damien Lillard, Lillard, in case I'm mispronouncing it, okay? And to get back on the subject of 157 and Kobe Bryant, there is another very important story to tell. That is of Damien Lillard, the man born July 15th, 1990, a date that can be written 15/7 like 157, stealing the show on Remembering Kobe night, leading the Portland Trail Blazers to a road win in Los Angeles while being on the team from Oregon, the only state having simple English gematria of 74, and also being the 33rd state in order of statehood, perfect for the Kobe ritual in the 74th NBA season. This matchup only occurred on Remember Kobe night because the Lakers and Clippers game was immediately rescheduled in the wake of his death, making the Lakers' next game in the Staples Center against the Portland Trail Blazers. In gematria terms, remembering Kobe sums to 263, the 56th prime number, and Damian Lillard equates to 56 with Pythagorean. For another telltale for the numerical ritual that was created by the rescheduling of the Lakers' next game after the death of Kobe was that the date of the game against the Blazers on January 31st or 1/31 was something like 131, the 32nd prime, corresponding with the gematria of Lillard, equating to 32, as well as the sum of Kobe Bryant's jersey numbers 8 plus 24. Plus, as you know, the Society of Jesus logo, a name equating to 56, has 32 sun rays. From that game, Lillard would take the league by storm, tying Kobe's 6-game scoring high of 293 combined points, the 62nd prime number. This was all in the days leading up to NBA being suspended and the coronavirus pandemic being declared, a phrase equating to 293. As for the star's full name, Damien Lamonte Ali Lillard Sr., it equates to 118 with Pythagorean Gematria. And as a reminder, Kobe Bryant died in Los Angeles, California, equating to 118 on the 118th Meridian West, 118 days after it was top news on October 1st, 2019, that Lillard had a rap beef with Kobe's old teammate Shaquille O'Neal, who was 47 years old at the time. Regarding the rap beef, on the same day as Kobe Bryant Remembrance Game, where the Lakers lost at home to Damian Lillard's Blazers, Lil Wayne's new rap album Funeral, equating to 32 with Pythagorean, the same as Lillard, released. Keep in mind, Lil Wayne is a rapper having a birthday of September 27th, 1982, the same day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome in 1540. Okay? As for the album Funeral, a curious title, releasing just 5 days after Kobe's death, the 8th track was titled Bing, B-I-N-G, Bing James, and it featured 24 seconds of silence at the end in tribute to Kobe. Also, that title, Bing James, equates to 35 and 55 in the same ciphers as King James, as in LeBron, who was 35 years old at the time, the most important person in the riddle of Kobe's demise after Kobe, whose death had much to do with 55. My God. For another important point, the album was released 126 days after Lil Wayne's birthday, a rap name summing to 101, the 26th prime, and reminding us of Kobe Bryant's 126 accident reportedly along Highway 101. As for another significance to the number 126 and the Jesuits, from the death of Ignatius of Loyola, the first superior general of the Jesuits, July 31st, 1556, to the day he was replaced by Diego Lainez, July 2nd, 1558, was 701 days later, the 126th prime number. And for another point on the number 126, Nike claims that the first Air Jordan shoes sold 126 million units worth in their first year. This is an interesting stat because in Ephesians 2:2, it is stated that Satan is the prince of the air, a word equating to 26, the word air equating to 26, the same as Jordan, the same as Bryant, and the latter being the man who died on 1/26 after emulating Michael Jordan's career. With this knowledge, you can really begin to appreciate just how scripted things are. From history, his story, to news, to sports, to entertainment, to politics, and better yet, you can escape the matrix of deception that they are a part of because of this knowledge. Absolutely, absolutely, and thank you, Zach, for bringing this stuff to the forefront. On the subject of entertainment, I want to revisit the man who directed the short film The Black Mamba, the same film that gave away Kobe Bryant's fate nearly 9 years in advance. That was Hollywood's Robert Rodriguez, a man having a name summing to 201 with simple English, and a man born in 1968 Two stats that aren't to be glossed over. As we have learned, 201 is a very important number to the Jesuit order, and it is also a number that corresponds with the Gematria of the Holy Bible, as well as 7 churches and 7 churches of Asia, each equating to 201. If you're not familiar with the 7 churches or the 7 churches of Asia, they are the churches referenced in Revelation, where each of these 7 receive a letter, including the Church of Philadelphia that receives the letter warning of the false Jews, referred to as the synagogue of Satan, equating to 223, the same as Philadelphia, and that also discusses the instrument of prophecy, the key of David, equating to 135, the same as Kobe being Bryant. If you're asking who are the false Jews, look no further than the head of the NBA right now, Adam Silver, or the man who came before him, David Stern. And with prophecy in mind, that is where the detail of Kobe Bryant dying in a helicopter accident comes into play. A helicopter is a vehicle summing to 666 with Sumerian gematria, whereas prophecy equates to 666 with Jewish gematria. Keep in mind, the musician Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash as well, a man with a best-selling album of Texas Flood, only for Texas to suffer a historic flooding on the 27-year anniversary of his fatal accident. August 27, 2017, a date with 52 numerology, and on the 239th day of the year, the 52nd prime, where the number 52 corresponds with the gematria of prophecy, as well as California, the latter being where Kobe Bryant died. Of course, the number 52 connects to flood and hurricane as well, and the latter word hurricane also sums to 56. And again, the Houston Astros in their 56th season would win the World Series that began 52 days after Matt Harvey became the first pitcher to pitch in Houston after the flooding done by Harvey. Oh my God. I should mention, in that rigged 113th World Series, the Astros beat the Dodgers from Los Angeles, California. The number 666 also reminds us that Kobe Bryant had an official workout called the 666 plan. Go ahead, Kobe. 666 plan, and that his career high points scored came in his 666th game, January 26, 2006, when he scored 81 points. Corresponding with the gematria of Kobe being Bryant, equating to 81 and 54. The exact same as Mark of the Beast, equating to 81 and 54. Let us not forget, the rest of his team scored 41 points, corresponding with Kobe Bryant, thus totaling 122 points on January 22nd, or 1/22, corresponding with the gematria of Satanic, summing to 122, the latter being the name of a value system that is about self-worship, a values system that is about self-worship, that coincides with the idea of putting the star of the team before the rest of the team, which is the NBA's marketing strategy. The 81-point ritual reminds us of Kobe Bryant's last game as well, where he scored 60 points, and his team scored 101 total. 60, and his team scored 101 total. Thus, the rest of his team scored 41. Again, in a game where Kobe Bryant would exit the court for the last time in his NBA career with 4.1 seconds left on the game clock after making his last shot while number 41 of the Utah Jazz was guarding him. As for the 101 total points, it is the 26th prime number, and in his hometown, Philadelphia, equates to 101 with simple English. And his hometown, Philadelphia, his hometown, Philadelphia, equates to 101 with simple English. Regarding the tributes to 666, the number of the beast, the number of a man, and Kobe's reported death on January 26 or 1/26. Let us not forget the significance of Genesis 1:26, or that Genesis sums to 666 with reverse Sumerian, or that God sums to 26 with simple English, who regrets making mankind summing to 66 with simple English in Genesis 6:6. It is also for this reason that Nick Saban won his 6th championship at age 66 with 26 points, and building on to that riddle he used to coach with Bill Belichick, who went on to win his 6th championship at age 66 in Super Bowl 53. In the same stadium Nick Saban accomplished the feat in 1 year earlier. For the record, that stadium was Mercedes-Benz Stadium, equating to 307, the 63rd prime, where in that same game, Belichick and Tom Brady became 6-3 together in Super Bowls in Tom Brady's 307th NFL game. Even more, Sony Michel scored the only touchdown of the Super Bowl 53 for either team, scoring at exactly the 53rd minute of the game, in a sport that plays on a 53-yard wide field and where the NFL allows 53-man rosters. Wow. And in a game between the Patriots and Los Angeles, both being names equating to 53. What made Sony Michel's touchdown special is that he was wearing the number 26, and the Super Bowl was 351 days after his birthday, the 26th triangular number, and a year earlier he had lost in the college football championship to Nick Saban, who scored 26 while Sony was playing for Georgia, his home state. Thus, the bitter taste of losing the rigged college football championship a year earlier was washed away by him winning the rigged Super Bowl that we called dead on, Patriots over Rams, before the season even began, just as we had called Alabama to win the championship before the prior college season started. It is to say, it was all too predictable, and when Sony Michel put away Super Bowl 53 with two 26-yard runs in the closing moments of the fourth quarter, we laughed all the way to the bank. I imagine somewhere else some Jesuit was saying, "For the greater glory of God," equating to 351, the 26th triangular number, because that phrase in Latin, ad majorem Dei gloriam, equates to 172, and Sony Michel's birthday is February 17 or 17/2, the same as Michael Jordan's, another person having a surname summing to 26 and who was 56 years old when Kobe Bryant died, the latter number connecting to Society of Jesus. As for the relationship between 351 and the Jesuits, let us not forget that the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, has a December 17th birthday, the 351st day of the year. And furthermore, if you search through the most iconic images of Michael Jordan dunking, you won't have to look long before you find one of him soaring from the free throw line with his legs back and the game clock shown in the background at 3:51. At 3 minutes 51 seconds, 3:51, the 26th triangular number, Jordan equals 26. And I used to love that poster. He still looks good, but I know what you bastards are doing now. You mofos ain't no good. Oh my God, my God. For one more stat you should know about Super Bowl 53, when you write out SIX, 6, it sums to 16 with Pythagorean. And there were 16 points scored in Super Bowl 53, reminding us that 53 is the 16th prime number, and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick picked up their 6th scripted Super Bowl win together. The 16 points were the result of the Patriots' 13-3 win over LA, equating to 13, which is the 6th prime number. And further, in Daniel 8, there is a story of how the goat destroys the ram, and Tom Brady was referred to as the GOAT, G-O-A-T, meaning greatest of all time, after beating the Los Angeles Rams at age 41 at the start of 2019, reminding us that 19 is the 8th prime, not by chance. GOAT sums to 16 with Pythagorean as well, topping off the ritual. It was at this same moment in history ESPN began the debate of who was the better GOAT, Jordan or Brady. When you have eyes to see, the riddles are laughable and demented. Oh my goodness. As for the biblical narratives and the subject of prophecy, keep in mind Kobe Bryant's death in a helicopter was also foreshadowed in a Comedy Central cartoon, Legends of Chamberlain Heights, where Kobe Bryant literally dies in an exploding helicopter in an episode titled End of Days that released on November 16th, 2016, a date that can be written as 1611, similar to 1611, the year the King James Bible was published, and reminding us that King James, or LeBron, surpassed Kobe Bryant in points scored one day before his demise. You'll notice November 16, 2016 was also a date with numerology of 36, and 666 is the 36th triangular number. And 11 plus 16 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6 equates to 36. Okay? That was the date. If you can, please take a moment to search for the small group of graphics used to advertise the show Legends of Chamberlain Heights. You should discover what I have. For starters, there are multiple graphics with a group of young men wearing basketball jerseys, and they are 3 in numbers, and the jerseys they are wearing from left to right are 55, 54, and 100 in each ad, with 54 front and center. Now, if you think about it, you will notice they're not in order of counting, because if they were, 54 would come before 55, and furthermore, we have discussed each of these numbers extensively in this chapter. Consider, Super Bowl 54 concluded the 100th NFL season 1 week after the deaths of Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant, both equating to 54. And as we stated, the number 55 is very important to the Boule, or Sigma Pi Phi, and that the fact that Kobe Bryant, a member, died on the 257th day of the Boule's age after their May 15, 2019 anniversary, when Los Angeles Lakers and Blood Sacrifice summed to 257, and 257 is the 55th prime number. Also, as we learned in the last chapter, the 100th NFL season was called the Year of the Black Quarterback by ESPN prior to it beginning, only for the 3 black men to take the top honors in the league, all of whom were quarterbacks, and in a season equating with Gematria of African American, summing to 100. Motherfuckers. The greatest 54 ritual of all with Legends of Chamberlain Heights, however, is how it relates to Kobe Bryant and the Lakers winning the NBA Finals on June 19, 2000, the real King James birthday. Let me reread that, okay? The greatest 54 ritual of all with Legends of Chamberlain Heights, however, is how it relates to Kobe Bryant and the Lakers winning the NBA Finals on June 19, 2000, the real King James birthday, to conclude the 54 NBA season 251 days after the death of Wilt Chamberlain, who passed on October 12, 1999, and was from Philadelphia before dying in Los Angeles, the same as Kobe Bean Bryant, equating to 54. Of course, 251 is the 54th prime, and in light of what we uncovered about Kobe Bryant, the sun, S-U-N, and the solar cycle, take another gander at the Legends of Chamberlain Heights advertisements and notice how some of them show the sun setting with the three boys in jerseys 55, 54, and 100, left to right with 54 front and center. As you know, sun equates to 54. This is crazy. Whew. Another point that should be made is Wilt Chamberlain died in Bel Air, the wealthy and well-known neighborhood in Los Angeles, largely due to the hit TV show starring Will Smith, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. As you'll recall, in the TV show, Will Smith, who plays himself, is sent from Philadelphia to Bel Air, Los Angeles, because of the trouble he was getting to on the basketball courts around his hometown, a story with clear parallels to the life of Kobe Bryant. In Gematria terms, Fresh Prince equates to 59 and 67, the same as Black Mamba and Calabasas, the later being where the crash occurred on a date with 67 numerology. And the date was 1/26/2020. When you add 1 plus 26 plus 20 plus 20, that equates to 67. Further connecting the pieces of the puzzle from Will Smith's 51st birthday, September 25th, 2019, to the date Kobe Bryant died was 123 days later. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air equates to 123 with Pythagorean gematria. Keep in mind, helicopter equates to 51, the same as conspiracy, a word that also sums to 123, and Will Smith was 51 years old at the time. You could also say Kobe Bryant, equating to 41, died 4 months and 1 day after Will Smith's birthday, a man who wore the jersey numbers 14 and 41 in varying seasons of the Fresh Prince, playing for the Bel Air Academy basketball team, equating to 54 and 81 in the exact same ciphers as Kobe Bean Bryant. Even more, the acronym on the jersey IYT sums to 54 with simple English. And to add to our list of 41, here are a few more. It was reported that Kobe Bryant's helicopter departed at 9:06, and the crash was reported at 9:47, 41 minutes later. Furthermore, it was reported the pilot's name was Ara Zobayan, Arazobayan, Ara Zobayan, summing to 41 and 58 with the Pythagorean methods in the same ciphers as Kobe Bryant. Even more, Kobe Bryant died 41 days after Lakers owner Joanne Buss, who passed December 16th, 2019. For another, he died a span of 41 days from his longtime teammate Shaquille O'Neal's March 6th birthday, causing Shaq to put up a billboard in tribute to Kobe at the LSU campus, his alma mater, who had just won the football championship 13 days before Bryant's demise. This is some bull BS. For another, Utah, who Kobe Bryant played his last game against in the NBA was established January 4th, a date that can be written for one similar to April 1st, the date Kobe, Japan. The date Kobe, Japan was founded. Gotcha, absolutely. For another 41, Kobe Bryant retired from the NBA in 2016, 41 years after his father was drafted by Golden State, equating to 41 and 58, just like Kobe Bryant. My God. And on this subject of Golden State, you might recall when Kobe played his last game, there was a doubleheader on ESPN taking place with two games being shown at the same time. One was Kobe Bryant hoisting up 50 shots to score 60 against Utah, and the other was the Warriors eclipsing the Chicago Bulls season record of 72 wins by winning their 73rd game in their last game of the season, led by Steph Curry, born on the 73rd day of the year, March 14th, and whose father, Dale Curry, faced Jordan in his 73rd game of the respective season, that the Bulls set the record with 72 wins. I bring this up because Kobe Bryant played his last game exactly 678 weeks after Michael Jordan. And at the same time, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson set an NBA record with 678 three-pointers made by two teammates in a single season on the same day. What makes this 678 coincidence meaningful is that both Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant equate to 678 with Sumerian Gematria. And for one last 41, if you take the time to watch the short film The Black Mamba before Kobe hoists the basketball bum at the helicopter, you see the timer on the bum count down to 4.1 and not a tick lower before the camera cuts to the next shot. It is reminiscent of how Kobe came off the court in his last game against Utah with 4.1 on the game clock after scoring 60 points. In word is 60, oh my God, compared to his team's 41 points scored. No different than his career high when he scored 81 and his team scored 41, bringing the team's total score to 122 on January 22nd. Once again, that number 122 has a satanic connection, as does 67, the latter number, again connecting to Black Mamba, Calabasas, and Fresh Prince. And I will end my reading there on page 248, and I will continue on in my next reading, hopefully tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want to tell you how to get Zachary K. Hubbard's books. His first book, Letters and Numbers, you can get that by visiting Zachary K. Hubbard's YouTube channels, Gematria Effect News or Gematria Effect Sports. And at the end of, and in the description of each of the videos he produces, he leaves a link for you to purchase the book for $5. The book will come to you, Letters and Numbers. It will come to you via email as a PDF file, so be sure that you save the file so you'll have access to it at all times. He left the copyright off this book so that you can have it bound into a book for your own personal library. You can do that by uploading it to lulu.com, and they will bind it into a book for you for less than $30, or you can take it to your local bindery or call them and whatever, but you can have it bound into a book for your own personal library. And his book that he has, that is a paperback book, you can get this book by visiting Amazon. It is available on Amazon, but I believe it is sold out, so it should be available shortly in a few weeks. But you can also visit Zachary K. Hubbard's blog page, Gematria Effect News.blogspot.com, and the first thing you'll see when you get to his page is the advertising for the book. And as you scroll down, it will give you the instructions on how to purchase the book within the United States and abroad. Make sure you read his blogs as well. He blogs every day. He has a previous channel called freetofindtruth.blogspot.com where he has been blogging for over 5 years. So please read his information. Learn what Gematria is. Get his books. Read them. Teach the information, because we do, and we have the right to know that this is going on. We have the right to know how this Satanist type world we live under, this system, everybody needs to know this information that's not a part of the elites. And we need to do whatever we can to stop it. This whole system needs to be something better for everybody, and not just the elites who are making things miserable for all of humanity. And with that said, you guys have a good night, and give the video a like and a share so that someone else can find the information as well. Thank you, and have a good evening.